Okay, guys, so how do you know if your exercise program is a good one? How do you know if it's taking you the right direction or if it's steering you down a path that you don't want to go? Well, I wanted to give you guys a framework to be able to answer exactly that question. I get that answer that question commonly. So I wanted to give you guys a framework to evaluate your own program so that you can determine if it's the right thing for you or not. So signs and symptoms of exercise programs deficiency, okay? First is a feeling of stiffness. Second is lasting joint pain or soreness. Third is recurrent injuries. Fourth is kickback. Fifth, lack of ease of movement. And last is physical capabilities. Well, the first one is a bit subjective in that, do you just feel like you're mobile? When you try to move around, when you reach, do you feel like that's effortless? You get up and down out of a chair, you squat down and sit on the floor. Does that feel like it's easy? Well, the basic tenet is for anything that you do in life requires a certain amount of mobility. And as time passes, most of us tend to get a little more stiff and less mobile. And so your exercise program really needs to address mobility in a major way. Second, and this one's is sort of somewhat obvious in that lasting joint pain and soreness. Well, muscle soreness and exertional effort is common and necessary because that's a sign of some overload, which that's how we get stronger. But we should never have pain, particularly sharp pain, when we're doing an exercise or that lasts in our shoulders, our elbows, our knees, our joints, and our tendinous attachments. That's not necessarily normal. And if you do get that, it should be very mild and transient, okay? But if it starts to escalate over time, that's not a good sign. We don't want that. And that's usually a sign of either the wrong choice of exercises or it can be the right choice of exercises with technique that's less than ideal, or it can be done well, but with too much intensity, too much load, too much. So there's a lot of variables in between in terms of whether or not something is working for you or not, okay? But the basic gist of it is muscle soreness is normal. Symptoms that are escalating over time is not ideal, not what we want. And then next is recurrent injuries. And this one, again, also somewhat sounds obvious in that your exercise program, when you go in and do it, it shouldn't cause injury. So in other words, your shoulders should not start hurting. Your knees shouldn't start hurting because you started an exercise program. And perhaps more important is the things that you do in normal life. So, sitting during the day at work, lifting things up, carrying things, walking around, participating in this sport or recreational activity that you love to do, you should be able to do those things without getting hurt. You should be able to be confidently do those things without getting hurt. But also you don't want to have kickback, meaning when you do them, it shouldn't be uncomfortable. And then also you shouldn't get pain or symptoms that night, that next day, or that next week. Some soreness, yes. Residual things that, again, behave and go up, not what you want, okay? So your exercise program regime, if it creates mobility, strength, balance, core control, all of those things that it should be improving and addressing, you should get more capable with your exercise program, be able to do more things without kickback and residual symptoms versus still trying to participate and getting injured and not be capable. And any problem there, that can be very much part of the exercise program. And then the exercise program itself absolutely should not pile things on and add to the problem, okay? Next is lack of ease of movement. And again, this one's a little bit subjective, but if I was to get up to walk over here out of my chair and then walk to the door, that should feel effortless and easy. Sitting down on the floor for a period of time, being able to do things on the floor with your kids, that requires a fair amount of mobility and a fair amount of trunk strength. You should be able to do that fairly easily. All movements, if things are working well and your body's working efficiently, movement should be easy. Movement should be enjoyable and fun. And so one of the things that all exercise programs should do is help people be able to move well so that they have a really good movement IQ, and as we like to call it. So very important. And then last but not least is physical capabilities. You should have certain physical capabilities. So one of the ones that's been shown by research to equate to longer life, living longer, more longevity, but also higher functionality as we get older is the ability to get up and down off the floor without using our hands. That takes a fair amount of mobility and trunk strength and hip strength, etc. So that's a good measure of, can you do that? Can you stand on your one foot for a period of time while you're brushing your teeth? Can you lift that bag of cat food easy? Can you bring in the groceries? Can you get out and cycle, bike, play softball, whatever those activities that you love to do. Can you do those things? Are they enjoyable? Do they feel good? And are you able to do it without necessarily having a lot of issues over the time? Those should feel good. It should be enjoyable to you. And ultimately, what we want from any other thing with our exercise program is we don't want the exercise program. We want what the exercise program gives us, and that's the ability to move confidently and do the things that we love to do, and also to feel great, to have high energy, and to want to do more and be able to do more. And that's when it all comes down to that. That's the most important thing that your exercise program should provide for you. So anyway, it shouldn't beat you up over time. Things shouldn't hurt, shouldn't compile onto the problem. We should get more physically capable. Just feel and move easily and well. That's the key to any exercise program. So anyway, I'm Clark Tanner, physical therapist, life coach, and founder of Thrive Physical Therapy and Wellness in Richmond, Virginia. And the question I would ask for you guys is, run your exercise program through this framework. Does it provide you some of the key elements of fitness, and are you able to move well and do all the things that you love to do without a problem? So ask yourself those questions. So anyway, guys, thanks for listening, and everybody have a great week, and keep on thriving. Bye-bye, guys.